Welcome and welcome back to the channel, guys. Real quick, guys, y'all recognize this. This is a Dodge 1500. As you can see, the engine size, it's a 5.7 liter Hemi engine, guys. That's right. And what I'm about to do is what some may call a tune-up. Okay, y'all know how I feel about that word tune-up. Okay, it is not just all about spark plugs. In fact, I have 4, 8, 12, 16 spark plugs right here I'm getting ready to replace. Now, the unique thing about this truck is it's kind of high off the ground. In fact, I'm on some stairs myself trying to climb up here. And in order to replace these spark plugs, it can be a little daunting. It can be a task, okay? Of course, all this got to come off. I'm going to get all that off in a second. But what I want to tell you guys is there's two different ways you can do a tune-up on these 1500s. Now, I have done both ways, okay? This particular truck is sitting a little higher off the ground. I'm having back pain right now. I worked out yesterday doing deadlifts, and my back is still sore, and I don't feel like going through that torture and pain. So I will do it from the other side. From the underside of the car, remove the fender wall. I'm going to take you under there in a second. But for now, I just want to point out to you, there are a couple of ways you can do it, especially if you have access to a lift. That probably is your better route if you don't want to lean over, because it's a plug right up under this brake booster that's kind of hard to get to, guys. Real hard to get to. And this side can be kind of hard. I'm going to remove the fender wear and do it that way. Now, if you want to see a particular video of me doing it this way from the top, just watch right here. In that video, I talked about the importance of making sure the engine has cooled off, guys. Do not unscrew spark plugs out of these aluminum cylinder heads while the engine is hot. Make sure and let the engine cool down. In fact, I went so far as to put a fan, put a fan in front of the engine, let it cool down. That particular truck was a waiter. The customer was actually waiting on it, and they was in a hurry. So in order to counter that, I had to make the truck as cool as possible, as quickly as possible. And that's how I went about doing that. Merely put a fan on it. So a couple of things. Do not do a tune-up. Do not remove the spark plug when the engine is extremely hot. Guys, do not just replace spark plugs when you're doing a tune-up. I mean, do that. I don't know if you're doing it as far as a time interval or what, but there's more things to a tune-up, guys. I have to say this every time. Make sure this air filter is clean and not restricted. Make sure your air inlet, meaning the throttle body, is not restricted. On that blade, you can accumulate carbon buildup, and that can restrict airflow. Okay, make sure the PCV valve, depending on your mileage, make sure that is up to task. And last but not least, guys, I say this all the time. If I was you, I would see if there is any kind of drivability improvement flash updates available. Yes, there can be flash updates available for your particular car, but it may not be for drivability improvements. Okay, I would only do a flash if it's justified that it's for improvements. Okay, there may be some things engineers have changed since the last time your car was in the shop, and that's how we go by doing that. We merely yank software out of the computer and put new updated software in it. Again, follow me here, because I've been catching a lot of flack by saying this. No, I do not recommend you flashing your computers just because. Okay, there should be a particular incident you're chasing, a particular problem you're chasing. If you're stalling out when come to a stop and that flash update will address that, that's when you should be doing the flash update. Not just because there is one, although some people do it just because they want the latest and greatest software available. You can do that, but it could get a little tricky, guys. It can get a little risky as far as, especially if you're dealing with older model cars. I tend to not want to flash update older model cars, but because they have already set in, and it's a risk thing at that point. So guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let the truck up in the air. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go about replacing these spark plugs through the fender wall. I'm not gonna hurt my back this time doing it this way. So I'll tell you what, guys, I'm gonna go to a quick break. When I get back, we're gonna be up in the air changing spark plugs. Stay with me. All right, guys, so here you go. This is another choice or option you have. You can do a tune-up this way, guys. As you can see, I can now easily get to the coils and the plugs. Okay, a whole lot easier than trying to crawl on top of the engine and bend my back. You can even go as far as removing the tire if that's in your way, but I think I have to rotate the tires anyway, so I'm gonna take this tire out, and that's gonna get me even more room, guys. Okay, so as you can see, spark plugs right here, ignition coils right here, spark plugs underneath. All right, guys, I have work to do, man. Let's get with it. All right, guys, so there you have it, guys. I wanted to show an example on how to get the spark plugs out through the firewall wheel area. Okay, it's a lot easier than hovering over the engine, doing it that way on a particular Ram 1500. Okay, so that is another option that you have. Now what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm getting ready to replace these 8 spark plugs into this cylinder head. I just wanted to demonstrate this. The other side is the exact same way, guys, although you will be just a little tight fit due to that booster, that brake booster, but other than that, it should be a breeze, guys. So I'm not going to film the rest of this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure your gap on your spark plugs are correct and go back in with your spark plugs, and that's about it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up just doing typical spark plugs. There's the PCV valve. I showed you everything up top. Make sure your air cleaner is good. Make sure there's no air restriction. Okay, all of that. And this tune-up should be complete, guys. Y'all understand that a tune-up is designed to help bring your vehicle back to peak performance, guys. You got to understand also that over time, you're not going to get it exactly to where it was at birth. Okay, things have changed. There are now some wear on the engine, but you can do your part in replacing wearable parts. Spark plugs happens to be a wearable item. They wear out over time. That's why there's a time interval change for spark plugs. Okay, so guys, that's all I have. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.